of Dean Carlson set in a gold frame on top of her dresser. Dean was the newest member of her father's law firm, and he had given her the picture soon after they'd started dating 3 months ago. Dean hadn't been too happy about her moving to Pennsylvania, even though she had assured him it would only be for a couple of years. She wasn't sure if his reluctance to see her go was because he cared so much, or if he might be worried that she would find someone else and end up staying in Pennsylvania. A loud knock jolted Laura out of her musings. With an exasperated sigh, she crossed the room and opened the door. A young woman with short, curly blonde hair stood in the hallway. "Hi, I'm Darla Shelby. I had the room next to yours." Laura smiled. "I'm Laura Mead." "Nice to meet you. Where are you from?" "Minneapolis. How about you?" "I grew up here in Lancaster, moved to New York with my folks when I was 16, and came back here again to attend this school." She grinned. "But my favorite place to be is Philadelphia. In fact, since tomorrow's Saturday, I thought I'd drive into Philly and do some shopping. Would you like to go along?" "So you must have your own car?" Darla nodded. "It's a little red convertible. Got it for my birthday last year." Laura thought about her own car parked in the garage at home. She wished she could have driven it here, but her parents had insisted that she fly to Pennsylvania and lease a car during her stay. "I realize we've only just met," Darla continued, "but I figure what better way to get acquainted than during a shopping spree?" Laura leaned against the doorframe as she contemplated the tempting offer. "I appreciate the invitation, and I'd love to go with you some other time, but I had planned to go to the farmer's market at Birdenhand tomorrow. I understand some of the plain people go there to shop and sell some of their wares." Darla nodded. "Those Amish and Mennonites are quite the tourist attraction around here." "Why don't you go to the market with me and we can do some shopping there?" Darla wrinkled her nose. "No way. I'd rather be caught in the middle of rush hour traffic on the turnpike than spend the day with a bunch of farmers." Laura giggled. "Those farmers do look pretty interesting." "Maybe so, but they're not interesting enough for me to give up a day of shopping in Philly." Darla turned toward her own room, calling over her shoulder, "Whatever you do, Laura, don't let too much of that Amish culture rub off on you." As Eli Yoder left Strasburg, where he worked at a store that made handcrafted Amish furniture, he thought about the conversation he'd had with Pauline Hostetler after church last Sunday. He had made the mistake of telling her that he planned to rent a table at the farmer's market this Saturday to sell some of the items he'd created in his woodshop at home. "Oh, Eli," he could still hear her say, "I was planning to go to the market on Saturday, too. Maybe the two of us could meet at noon and eat lunch together." "Pauline's after me to court her," Eli mumbled as he headed down the road toward home in his buggy. His horse whinnied as if in response and perked up his ears. "Are you sympathizing with me, boy?" Eli chuckled and flicked the reins to get his horse trotting a bit faster. It was fun to ride in his open buggy and go a little faster than usual. It made him feel free and one with the wind whipping against his face. "I won't be free for long if Pauline has anything to say about it. I think she's in cahoots with Mom to see me join the church so I can get married and settle down to raising a family." Eli frowned. It wasn't that he didn't want to get married someday. He just hadn't found the right woman yet, and he was sure it wouldn't be Pauline. He was in no hurry to be baptized and join the church until he felt ready to settle down, so Mom would have to learn to be patient. "Why'd I agree to meet Pauline for lunch?" Eli fretted. "She's likely to take it to mean I have an interest in her, and then she'll expect me to start officially calling on her." He gripped the reins a little tighter. "I'll have lunch with her on Saturday because I promised I would, but I'll have to figure out some way to let her know there's no chance of us having a future together." A ray of sun filtered through the window, causing Laura to squint when she opened her eyes. She peeked at the small clock on her bedside table. It was nearly 9 o'clock. She had slept much later than she'd planned. Jerking the covers aside, she slipped out of bed and headed for the shower. A short time later, as Laura studied the contents of her closet, she had a hard time deciding what to wear. She finally opted for a pair of blue jeans and a rust-colored tank top. She pulled her long auburn hair into a ponytail and secured it with a navy